One of the things he's going to really want to do is try and stop these banks from collapsing, because remember that we'd seen after the stock market crash, with interest rates being so low, with bank runs going on, he's going to want to try and keep these banks afloat, because banks must make loans to businesses if businesses are going to be successful. Businesses don't operate unless they can take out loans. I don't know if you realize just how much debt a business takes on pretty much all the time. It's always bet on the future of profitability. Even a company like Apple will take on debt in the short term to have long-term growth. Farmers do this all the time. They take on debt in the beginning of the year or the end of the year before in order to prepare for and hopefully see profit at the end of the harvest. It's the same idea. So if banks collapse, if banks are closing, they're not going to be able to provide the loans that businesses need to keep money moving in that supply side cycle. So Hoover says, all right, you know what we need to do? Goes to Congress, and together they draw up this plan. They call it the National Credit Corporation. And the idea of the National Credit Corporation is that we're going to push money out to you in the banks so that you could then give money to the businesses, so that those businesses could then hire workers, lower unemployment, and expand production again, get the economy moving. But the problem was not enough money was given to the banks. They gave a good bit of money, but it just wasn't enough to stop that slide that we had talked about last chapter, where less demand means less need for resources and supplies, means less need for workers and higher wages, means more people unemployed, means less demand. It's just not enough money to break that cycle. Businesses become a focus of this as well, because clearly if we're talking about banks, we're also talking about the businesses that would take their loans. So Hoover does something similar. As the National Credit Corporation, he creates the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. And the idea there was that, if the banks can't give these loans out, right, because it wasn't enough money to the banks to get them to give loans, then we're going to have to give loans directly to businesses ourselves. So let's have a government-made company that makes loans to businesses. The businesses then pay back those loans to us with interest. Government makes a profit, go team, and everyone wins. And the RFC does, in fact, loan out a ton of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, but it doesn't increase its lending sufficiently. Businesses are still going bankrupt. Railroads are just not rebounding. Ultimately, by 1932, businesses are still going to be collapsing. Unemployment is going to be at its highest ever, and bank lending is going to continue to be low. So he makes an effort at it. But really what happens is that credit remains frozen. The money is frozen. It's not moving from bank to business, from business to person, from person back to business, from business to bank, and then back and forth and back and forth. It's not doing that.